is a wonderful history of Prague doing so much for Bitcoin. First ever hardware wallet, first mining pool, first Bitcoin ATM, whole seed phrase stuff, BIP39 standard, like what we consider being normal, it all origin from Prague. First Bitcoin conference. So we thought like, hey, let's build Bitcoin bridges, let's do it in Prague, let's make Prague great again. So after the official BTC Prague hours at 6 p.m., BTC Prague gonna turn into Bitcoin festival. We all gonna celebrate the Bitcoin again outside during the sunny day. There's gonna be a lot of beer involved again, and there's gonna be music, few tents, a lot of party places, and basically BTC Prague gonna turn from the conference into the Bitcoin festival.
If you're enjoying the show, it would mean a lot to me if you had hit subscribe and leave a quick rating or review. It helps more people find these conversations and support the mission. This episode is brought to you by Stampseed, the premium solution for backing up your Bitcoin seed phrase. Paper won't last, SSDs can fail, and most steel options aren't built to survive real-world threats. Stampseed uses high-grade titanium and a precise low-tech stamping method that just works. Get 15% off with the code BTCSTORY at checkout. And if you need help getting your Bitcoin off exchanges and into self-custody, or if you're ready to build a robust, bespoke inheritance plan, the Become Unruggable one-on-one consulting program where you will work exclusively with me is exactly what you're looking for. You can find all the ways to reach out to me in the show notes down below. Now, let's get started with today's episode. Welcome back to another episode of Your Bitcoin Story podcast with your host, Gigi. Today, I'm joined by Martin Kuchar, the co-founder of BTC Prague, the biggest and highest signal Bitcoin-only conference in Europe. Martin has helped turn BTC Prague into a world-class gathering for Bitcoiners from all over the world, with no distractions, no crypto noise, and no compromises. We'll explore Martin's own journey in Bitcoin, the vision and value behind BTC Prague, and how he and his team are building a true sovereign event. And by the way, I'll be attending BTC Prague this year as a speaker, and I couldn't be more excited. Join us in Prague in 1 month's time from 19th until 21st of June. If you haven't already secured your tickets, you can use code BTCSTORY at checkout for a 10% discount. Martin, welcome to the show.
Hi, Gigi. Thank you for such a kind words. I'm really flattered, to be honest. So again, I'm happy to be here and I'm excited on what we're going to cover today.
For sure. No, and thank you, Martin, for taking the time out of your busy schedule. As I mentioned in the intro, we're just 1 month away and there must be a lot of things cooking under the table. So thank you for taking the time to come on.
Thank you. And it's funny while you're saying cooking, because like Kuchar means a chef in Czech, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we really are cooking something with Matthias.
Well, no pun intended with that one. So perfect, Martin. So I guess let's jump right straight into it. So what's in store for BTC Prague 2025? What are some exciting things that you're looking forward to?
Yeah, like in general, I'm excited to getting to the actually kind of the crazy month. This is the most intense part of the year, and I'm excited because it means that BTC Prague is approaching. And I'm really looking forward to seeing all those happy and smiley faces in the venue again, celebrating Bitcoin with us. And, you know, like BTC Prague really is a conference, it's the biggest Bitcoin conference in Europe, 8,500 visitors, 250 speakers on all the stages. It's massive. It's the best place to come for the education and for a proof that we all are on the right and same track. Being Bitcoiners, pushing Bitcoin further, making it more valuable. And just a little aside, it's really funny, we discussed this before the recording, that it's like another proof that Bitcoin is early. Like, yes, we have 8,500 visitors in the venue celebrating Bitcoin, but there's only 3.5% worldwide Bitcoin adoption, which is like nothing. So let's just come together, let's just celebrate it again, and let's make our believement stronger and stronger, because we need to stay humble, we need to stack more, we need to understand what are the obstacles in the Bitcoin space, so we can all grow together up to the worldwide adoption, which is like, and it always breaks at like 13.5% at the crossing the chasm point on bell curve where the real hockey kick starts in. That's the point where the real Bitcoin madness is gonna happen. So come to Prague, let's meet there, and let's celebrate Bitcoin being around 100K. It's funny that we consider Bitcoin being on some consolidation level in between 80 and 100,000 K. Like, is wonderful. And like what we are cooking for BTC Prague, I'm really excited because it seems that there's not much you can do with a conference on such a scale, but it's actually not true. Like, yes, we have 250 speakers. We have Michael Saylor for the third time in a row. We have many new rising Bitcoin stars, wonderful people who appeared in the space like in past half a year, and they are doing great. There are tons of new products and services being like promoted in the expo section when all the visitors can really come, meet the founders, ask them like serious and even silly questions, and for example, even buy a hardware wallet like peer-to-peer, which is the best way of obtaining one, without leaving any digital trace. So to allow any scammer or a hacker to download the database with the personal records. And the venue is huge. We are making it a little bit bigger than last year, actually.
Oh, wow.
So
It was already huge
BTC,
last year. So it was, the warehouses were massive. So you're even going bigger this time.
we are going bigger, mostly outside. So after the official BTC Prague hours at 6 p.m., BTC Prague gonna turn into Bitcoin Festival. So
nice.
after learning on the main stage, after coming and seeing all those speakers, after like catching them in the venue and asking them questions and taking selfies, we all gonna celebrate the Bitcoin again outside during the sunny day. There's gonna be a lot of beer involved again, and there's gonna be music, a few tents, a lot of party places, and basically BTC Prague gonna turn from the conference into the Bitcoin festival again, like celebration of Bitcoin, where we all can have fun, make new friends, meet the already ones again in the venue, and basically celebrate the Bitcoin, as I already mentioned. And there are a few additional perks to make that even more enjoyable and more successful. First one is we are adding Worldly. It's a platform for almost real-time AI translation of all the stage appearance, keynotes, and panel discussions. So I've heard many like attendees last year, like a little bit complaining or not being sure if the main stage is the right place for them because they weren't so sure about the level of the English. So we have the answer finally. They're gonna be able to just scan the QR code with their mobile phones and use the Wordly application to read the transcript of what's happening on the stage in real time in 40 different languages.
Wow.
So if you're coming from Italy, Spain, France, Sweden, Norway, wherever else, exactly, it's super easy to have a real transcript directly in your cell phone. So in case you are not sure what really happens on the stage, because Bitcoin language can become tricky, a lot of technical aspects, a lot of philosophical aspects, and it's actually even tiring after like listening for 8 hours. So you can use your cell phone as a personal advisor to give you the guidance in all that topics and narratives happening on the stage real time. So I'm pretty excited of this, and it even gonna work vice versa from Czech language to English on our Czech stage outside. So Czech stage won't be dedicated for Czechs only. So if anybody is curious what happens in the Czech space, just come, take a seat on the Czech stage for half an hour, use the Wordly, and you're gonna feel like at home, I would say.
Wow, this is incredible. I mean, I love how AI is, on the contrary of killing our jobs, it's actually making our lives much more easier, and we're kind of turning into this cyborg nation where you put in your plugin with your AI and you have all this access, and real-time translations is a huge thing. That's something, Martin, I've been looking for some time with my podcast to get a reasonably good and reasonably priced as well AI model where this podcast can be translated to Spanish, to Chinese, to many different languages, and share these stories with the rest of the world. Because most people, they think, English is spoken everywhere, but actually when you look at the statistics, it's only about 10-12% of the world actually speaks English. There is so much
Exactly.
of the non-speaking English world. So it's incredible that you guys are also working on that to kind of enable more visitors that are not native to English that can enjoy and see it in real time, which is incredible.
Yeah, thank you. I can't agree more. It's really funny that AI might take our jobs sooner or later, and that's the reason why I always use please and thank you while using ChatGPT, because when it turns wrong, I wanna be the good guy there.
You want to be on the good side of the AI.
You
Very
I
true.
rather play it safe. You never know.
You never know. That
You
is very
never
true.
know.
But,
Yeah,
just on the subject of AI, since we touched upon it, I'm a true believer that AI will really give us insane human capabilities where one man person with a great idea will be able to project this product or service and essentially have like 100 virtual employees working for them. So I don't think there's been a lot of like downturn and dark side of AI, how we're all going to lose our jobs. But if we look back in history, when the industrial age and when electrification came around, everybody also thought, oh wow, like all these factory jobs will taken away, everybody will be unemployed.
yeah,
Actually, the jobs that the AI is really going to take is the boring jobs that can be replicated by a machine. We still need humans to
yeah,
interact, especially client relations jobs, which was my previous niche that I came from. There's no AI that will change a human interacting with another human and kind of giving this bespoke service. So we just need to adapt to it. So whoever is kind of pushing it away just doesn't want to change. So Gigi's piece of advice, adapt with the times and implement it to your own best use.
yeah. And it might sound arrogant, but it really is like adapt or die. Yeah, that's the way. And it's exactly it's same like
Are
with
you talking about
electricity.
Bitcoin
Where
or AI, Martin?
I'm sorry.
Are you talking about Bitcoin or AI with that quote?
Both, right? It's technology. Technology doesn't make stand, right? It's not black or white. Technology is technology, and it doesn't stand for the opinion or for whatever you might be thinking of. And it seemed like with electricity, where people were complaining, electricity, what's wrong with steam? And then the
Mm,
internet, like what's wrong with our letters? Yeah. So
true.
uh, it kills many jobs or it replaces, but it creates another big portion of the people taking care of the data centers and programming and creating code, which I'm not really sure, but I don't judge. I don't judge at all.
That's true. And just to add, it widens the scope of trade around the world, right? Like how many marketplaces span up from the creation of internet, and now with Bitcoin, you can be selling your goods or services to to anyone in the world, no matter if they're sanctioned or not sanctioned on the legacy market. It doesn't matter where you're from. There's, it really opens the doors. The possibilities are endless. And, retracing back, Martin, where we started off, which you mentioned how early we are in Bitcoin. And yeah, Bitcoin as a protocol has been here for 16 years only. But there's so much more to be built and there's so much more to go ahead. So anybody thinking, oh, I missed the boat looking at fiat chart prices, please don't be discouraged. And for me, actually, Bitcoin is not volatile. One Bitcoin will always be one Bitcoin. It's the fiat that's volatile. Depending on which currency you're looking at, it goes up and down. But, Bitcoin has a long way to go. And now I would say is the best time to get involved, because the people that jumped in 10 years ago, that's when Bitcoin was risky. When Bitcoin was $200, that's when it was like a gamble. Is this going to go forward? Is it not? But now, I mean, with the, use case and the literally proof of work that has been done in this time and everything that's getting built on it, it's, in my opinion, the best time to get involved. And if you don't know what to do, how can I get involved? You don't have to spin up your own company. There's so many Bitcoin companies which will be present at BTC Prague, especially the expo area, where you can contribute. Not everyone needs to be a coder, but if you love marketing, if you love design, if you love content creation, like this guy, anything, just go there and find your ideal company that you can contribute and give back. And this is another way I encourage people to join BTC Prague. It's not just to go and enjoy the fantastic keynotes and meet new people, but actually, if you want to leave your fiat job behind and move into the Bitcoin standard and work on Bitcoin, BTC Prague is really the place to go. And I really wanted to give you kudos to you, Martin, and your brother, Matthias, with the expo. I've been to plenty of conferences, and expos are usually kind of the quiet, the boring areas with a few, cardboard booths and some random people with some clipboard standing around, waiting for the conference to finish so they can hit the bar. But at BTC Prague, like, to me, it was the heartbeat. The expo area there was so much happening. It was really like it was really hard. Like, oh, I've got this next keynote I want to go see, but there's so many people I still want to go speak to here. And really, the expo, I would even call it the heartbeat area, not the expo. It's really something special what you guys have built, and I can't wait for next month to experience the level up of the expo area.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, like it's actually true that those people running the booths are looking for the end of the day so they can turn themselves off a little bit and turn into the party mode. So we decided that if they are looking for going for a beer, let's bring beer there in the venue directly so they can stay hydrated even during the days. And it turned out to be a great idea. But jokes aside, actually, maybe a little bit more on top of that networking application, and it even goes in hand with that expo. Like, our mission is to build Bitcoin bridges, and we are always in seek of new ways of doing. And the expo section is actually a wonderful example, and it works really greatly, as you mentioned. Like, people are there having fun, smiling, meeting those companies, and it's about leveling up, exactly, because the best way of becoming a Bitcoiner or making yourself like more active in the space or more sure about the future of Bitcoin really is the conference. Because, now in the AI era again, like in not even 1 year, actually, it won't be possible to realize what's true and what's not in the online space. We are almost on that edge, actually. But coming to the conference, meeting those people face to face, feeling the physical energy, makes the assurance that the situation or the communication or discussion is valid and it's true. It's way easier because there's that physical part of it, the emotional and non-verbal one. And this is the reason why I empower everyone to come to the conferences in general. And because that's actually the way of becoming a Bitcoiner, understanding that there is a space around it, there are people who you can ask questions. And if you are ready to level up, and there are many ways of doing, if you are a no-coiner, you can become a Bitcoiner. If you are a Bitcoiner, you shall think of self-custody. What does it mean? What's the seed phrase? What's the proper hardware wallet for your use case? How to protect the seed phrase if anything happens to you, so to be sure that kids can follow. And if you are already on that level, you might think of like quitting your fiat job and jumping into the Bitcoin one. And if you are already in a Bitcoin job, you might thinking of learning and understanding the space more so you can be better in the job, or maybe starting your own Bitcoin company. And you can achieve all those levels at conferences in general. And BTC Prague is just one example of many. But as it really sits in the middle of the Europe, and Prague is wonderful, and there is a wonderful history of Prague doing so much for Bitcoin, like first ever hardware wallet, first mining pool, first Bitcoin ATM, whole seed phrase stuff, BIP39 standard, like what we consider being normal, it all origin from Prague, first Bitcoin conference. So we thought like, hey, let's build Bitcoin bridges, let's do it in Prague, let's make Prague great again. And that networking, that AI translation application is just one example of many, because it allows us to build even stronger bridges, because those people coming from countries or places where the English is not that advanced yet, and Czech Republic is actually one example of many, makes it really easier for everyone to understand the advanced topic happening on the stages. And there's actually even another application or a tool we're implementing for the first time this year, and it's networking application. So you can already look for it in the App Store or in Google Play. There's a BTC Prague application. It's a white label Brella application. So it's a world #1 networking application where all attendees gonna opt in and fill their profile. So it would be super easier if you are, for example, someone looking for a Bitcoin job, to mark yourself like, I'm on seek for a Bitcoin job. So the Bitcoin recruiters being in the space, like Satoshi Labs, they are having like 15 open positions constantly or Brains or many others, not only from Prague actually, they're gonna be there and they're gonna be on look on those people. So you can just arrange a meeting, have a coffee, meet by their booth, or have a beer outside or whatever gonna fit. And it's really easy because you can directly meet the team. You can talk, you can ask questions, you can feel if you have the energy in between, because that's what most jobs are too about, right? It's not only about hard work, but it needs to be a fit. You need to
Not just about the
understand the
CV.
culture. Exactly. And we are actually in look for COO, Chief Operational Officer, with BTC Prague, and we hope to find one before BTC Prague, so he can be part of the team and he can see the buzzing energy in the venue and meet the people and talk with them. Or if we want Archive till then, maybe we're gonna find one at the conference. So again, I'm really challenging everyone to come to BTC Prague and to join us there, because there are like so many ways of how you can improve your Bitcoin level just by being at the conference. And it's like same with the music. Let's say you love I don't know, Cranberries, or I don't know why I realize Cranberries now, or Pink Floyd, whatever. You can have a wonderful LP setup at your place, right? The
Yeah.
music can be like top-notch one with the wonderful speakers, and you're gonna really enjoy it with the good glass of wine or a beer or whatever you like. But when you go to the concert, the real one, and having those masses around, you
It's
don't really mind, and you feel so energized and happy, even while the music quality is way lower than at your place. So, and it's same with the conference. So
Mm.
really, I don't understand why anyone says like, hey, why would I go for a conference while I can see all the speeches on the recording? Yeah, you can, but you will miss a lot. And if you are saying that, it only means that you have no idea. You should really come and try, because it's gonna change your life. And there's actually cost of the ticket, of course, but there is a cost of the lost opportunity, which is way higher, I would say.
True. That's true. Just to chip on that last part, especially for people that are sports lovers, it's one thing, you can watch the game on the TV, but if you go to the stadium and you feel the energy of 80,000 people cheering and the pre and post game experience, you can't compare it. It doesn't matter if you have a
Absolutely.
100-inch ultra QLED TV, the quality might be crispier, but the real life thing is much better.
Way
But yeah,
better, yeah.
I wanted to touch upon the cost of opportunity. Yeah, of course, you need to buy the conference ticket, you need to buy the flights, the accommodation and everything. But as you said, Martin, if you go there and you find the actual dream job, or maybe not even the dream job, but your next job in the Bitcoin space, that outweighs the entire budget that you spend to go there. And it will change your life forever. There's so many people sitting on X that I read, how do I get a Bitcoin job? Like, I'm sick of my 9 to 5. Like, I really want to get out of it. The opportunity is right there in front of you, staring at you in the face. The only thing you need to do is get some courage, pull the trigger, and get those tickets, get those bookings in. And then, if you don't even get the job, you will still have probably the best time you've had at any Bitcoin conference. So why not go for it? So on the topic of enjoying the conference, maybe Martin, you could share maybe some themes or topics that you intentionally are going to highlight in this year's edition.
Yeah, for me, it's a little bit tricky. I'm biased.
Okay.
So for me, the program is still being developed. It's a little bit too early, but I really encourage everyone to go to our website, see the program, and mostly see the list of speakers. And I don't personally know what Michael Saylor, for example, gonna talk about. But for example, last year's his talk of like 21 rules for Bitcoin, I believe that it was a game changer for many people. Yeah, look, there was so much truth hidden in the message, or like Jack Mallers really empowering and emotional talk on top of like why Bitcoin
With
and not
the spoon
shitcoin.
doesn't bend when he put the matrix right. But yeah, Jack Muller's probably was my favorite one from that.
Yeah, that was wonderful.
Some real gems.
And Giacomo is coming again, and is gonna be a gem again. And there are a lot of hidden gems inside. And for me, it's really tricky. I don't have time to follow the stage time. But so I'm the one who follows on the recordings, actually. But that I don't want to serve as an example here. So please just go and look what our program is about on the web page, because that's the place, and there are filters so you can see what's happening there, and we're going to announce much more. But again, it's like 250 speakers coming from all around the world, and I know it's not only about Micah Saylor, but he's coming for the third time in the row. That didn't happen on any other conference in the history. So he really loves Prague, and Prague is best place to come. So I would say that this is the proof. And to spice it up a bit, I really enjoyed it last year, mostly from the perspective that everybody was smiling there. People were really having fun, except like few rare examples. People just walking the venue, listening the talks, visiting the expo section, talking with the partners, and it was like a huge endness of people flowing from the right to the left and from the left to the right again, having fun outside, having a beer, enjoying the sunshine, listening to music, partying in the afternoon. And I was sitting there next to the Czech stage with our local plebs when I had like 15 minutes break, and I was so excited of the energy around. Yeah, like there were like 60 people sitting closer or further from me, with a beer or without, talking, smiling, having fun, listening what's happened there on the stage, enjoying themselves, enjoying the sunny weather, and really being that in that festival or party mode, even while learning and absorbing the Bitcoin. So I realized that this is something that really is changing our world, and it's not just empty wording. It's true. It's happening daily, and this is a celebration of like us being actually patient for all the year and for working hard. So come to Prague and let's release that orange energy there.
For sure. And just add enjoying every moment of it, like it's no matter which section you go of the conference, there's always something exciting happening. And as you said, the vibrance of positivity, there's no person you will approach and they'll be like, oh no, sorry, I don't want to talk to you. I'm busy with something. Like it's a very approachable area and very kind people. So yeah, I guess another subject I want to kind of steer it a little bit to something new that's happening this year. Of course, we have the 3-day conference starting on the 19th, and then the two actual full official conferences on days on the 20th and the 21st. But the 19th, which is kind of the pre-official one, which last year was called the Industry Day, which I really enjoyed. But this year, you're kind of twitching it up and calling it the Business Day. So maybe, Martin, you could share a little bit what drove you to this decision, and what can people expect from the Business Day?
Yeah, good question. And it goes after us trying to build more and stronger Bitcoin bridges in the space. And as we kicked BTC Prague off like 2 years ago, we visited many Bitcoin conferences, mostly across Europe, but even in US and in Latin America. And we actually realized that there are Bitcoiners all around the world, but they are using Bitcoin in a little bit different way. They have different lives, different cultural history, speaking different language, and coming to Bitcoin with little different use cases. And mostly here in Europe, actually, we realized that it's kind of tricky because those Bitcoiners are not really aware of what's happening next in the neighboring countries, even while Bitcoin is strong there. Like, for example, here in Czechia, we really mind KYC or non-KYC Bitcoin the most. We understand what freedom of the money really means because of our history. And we don't, for example, mind our phone number being released at all, because it's super easy to obtain non-KYC phone number in any traffic store on the corner here.
Yeah.
And on the opposite, like in Germany, they really mind their phone number. They keep it private, keep it secret, but they don't mind non-KYC or KYC Bitcoin as much as we Czechs do here. And we thought like, oh, wow, that's really interesting. Let's put those people together. That's where the idea of building Bitcoin bridges origin from. So we decided to create the platform where plebs can meet, learn from each other, grow, and help Bitcoin adoption on a European level to scale to level up basically again. And I believe that this milestone is already like checked. I believe that this goes pretty well with 21 in Germany, with our 21 in Czech Republic, and with all the branches across the Europe. They are becoming stronger and stronger. Just only here in Czech Republic, our local branch 21 organizes smaller or bigger meetup in some of the major cities, almost 30 cities actually, on weekly or at least monthly basis. It really grows organically from bottom up. That was the idea of BTC Prague, to create the culture of people taking the responsibility of helping Bitcoin, pushing it further with their own communities, in their own communities, and basically to kick that grassroots growth of Bitcoin as much as possible. And I believe that this is a check mark. Of course, we are still focused on it. We love it. That's the reason why the Friday and Saturday remains the pleb days, if I shall simplify it. But we even see, and mostly these days, that in the Bitcoin space, and I'm not really sure if this is like a real bull run. It's like a little bit weird, unprecedented period. Maybe a teaser. I hope so, actually. And there's even saying like may go away, but remember, come back September. So I hope that we are not going away till September. We will see, or nothing, right?
Yeah.
But what is interesting is that so many companies are coming into Bitcoin. And usually in those companies, it happens behind the curtain for some period of time before they are really ready to announce that they, for example, have Bitcoin as a store of value, that they skip that fiat storing, etc. There are Bitcoin treasury companies popping out like mushrooms in Europe, actually, in almost every country these days. It is happening in Big Four like Deloitte, KPMG, Accenture, PwC. All those companies are doing something with Bitcoin already. Volvo, IKEA, Deutsche Telekom, SAP, etc., etc. So we realize that this really happens, and even in Czech Republic, like the richest people in Czech Republic running the biggest Czech companies are already somehow exploring Bitcoin, or they are already personally Bitcoiners, but they didn't manage to get it into the company balance sheet yet. And it's changing now. We are like really on the crossing point. Even the governor of our national bank speaks about Bitcoin, and he established a commission which only mission for upcoming half a year is to analyze and check and understand the implications of having Bitcoin as a reserve currency for Czech koruna. After half a year, they're going to come up with something and say, okay, we are ready to go, or we need to wait, or we need to change this or that. But it's happening. It's already happening. And this is something that wasn't present in the space like 2023 or 24. And we said, okay, so this is definitely the place where we shall build more bridges. So to let those people understand that those ways of accepting Bitcoin on company balance sheet is something that they do not need to be afraid of. That there is already a cooking book or a cookbook how to implement it. If I simplify it,
From the Cook brothers.
from the Cook, not really from Cook brothers. We are just spicing it up a little bit, I would say.
Nice.
And yeah, and I lost the track now a little bit.
With the integration of the payments for businesses, kind of steering away from industry focusing on companies that are in the Bitcoin ecosystem, but helping traditional companies bridge them, implement them into the Bitcoin sector.
Exactly. And it's really happening. And there are even like funny stories. Like we were having calls with one company, I won't name it. And there were two guys exploring Bitcoin, a huge corporate. And let's say one is Bob and second is Tom. And Bob asked me, hey guys, what shall I do? What shall be the next steps? And we said, go downstairs. There's a Tom sitting there asking us the same questions. Maybe guys, you shall meet and talk together first, and then we can help, So that's the state of Bitcoin. There are like individuals in huge companies trying to push that orange energy further, and in the company, usually not even understanding that it's already somehow happening there. So we are empowering them, giving them like that cookbook, how they shall start, who shall they meet, what are the steps they shall follow. And business day is actually place where we're gonna put it all together. So Michael Saylor's gonna tell a little bit more of how the strategy playbook works. What does it mean to have Bitcoin on balance sheet? How he leverages it, not to need to have the fiat on the opposite. How you should do the accounting, how you should do the numbers, how you should do the legal advisory, etc., etc. And we hope that it all gonna fit, and those companies gonna get assurance that the mission is right and that they are not lost or alone in the space. Same as we did with Plebs like 2 years before, actually.
I love it. You're touching upon a really important part where we're kind of driving towards this hyper Bitcoinization. For it to really happen, businesses need to plug into the network. We can't just us retail guys exchange some peer-to-peer sats and think, we made it. We really need the businesses to get on board, and having on your balance sheet as a treasury or corporate savings is one thing, but in my eyes, the more important thing is kind of the advantages and how easy it is for businesses to implement Bitcoin, to accept Bitcoin payments today. It's super easy, and there's many different vendors, from fully open source BTC Pay server to companies that really just focus on helping companies implement payment gateways, or mining, perhaps, especially the big corporations which have factories, which have a lot of excess energy that is just being wasted away, where they could recycle and reuse that energy to actually mine their own sats and be accumulating it through that. There's so many different avenues that they can do it, but they just need to be shown the way of how to do it. So that's why I'm really bullish on the business day. I think you guys are doing a fantastic aspect. I also don't think there's any other conference yet that was Bitcoin only that focused on business kind of adoption, like a full day program. So definitely any business owners listening to this episode right now, definitely you don't want to miss the 19th of June. It will help you a lot. Or if you're in a position where you fully get it, but your CEO or founder is still kind of not seeing the point, maybe you should bring him along to witness it firsthand and ask questions. This is what I love about conferences compared to watching content online. Watching content online, it's a one-way communication. You're watching the screen and you're getting content blasted in your face. But at a conference or workshops, you can actually engage it, and it's a two-way communication. Or if the speaker, you didn't manage to ask them while the keynote was on, you can come find them outside or the expo area and have a two-way conversation, which I think is super important. Sometimes us Bitcoiners, we're kind of stuck in this cyber chamber where everything is just online, and there's a lot of miscommunications, especially right now as we're recording this podcast. There's a lot of Bitcoin core dev
Yeah.
misunderstandings, and there's a lot of back and forth. I'm really looking forward to some debates next month over there, but we would all be in person. I'm sure it wouldn't be as miscommunicated, and kind of we would all get along. This goes back to Giacomo Zuccos, which you mentioned earlier, last year's speech, which was, if I'm not mistaken, it was, why can't we all get along? I think he did that keynote 1 year early, because next month would have been perfect. But anyways, I'm still looking forward to what Giacomo is going to be. He's one of my all-time favorite Bitcoiners. So I'm really looking forward to his keynote. But yeah, going back to the business day, guys, jokes aside, honestly, if you're a business, definitely this is the day that you don't want to miss. It will be well worth it. So if anything, the 19th is the most important part. Now, apart from the business day, we've got the incredible integrations with the apps, with the networking app, with the AI translation app, with a Bitcoin festival happening every afternoon after the conference. Anything else you have up the sleeves that people should be aware of, or you want to keep them as a surprise?
Yeah, maybe like a little bit on top of that business days, but spice it up. Really, really like, and you actually hit the nail. Like imagine you are having a CEO in the company and you wanna really make him to do the last step. He's already somehow on the brink of becoming a Bitcoiner or understanding it. But there are many questions like it's not a self custody. They would probably go with some company custody. That brings a lot of questions again. So as the same self custody, etc. And like coming to Prague, that's the way, because you can't raise questions or ask questions on YouTube. But if you understand that you shall have like Bitcoin on a balance sheet or as a treasury, there are companies right in the expo 100 meters away, like giving you the tools and the services to make it happen. And they are there to answer the questions. And mostly on Thursday, the business day, all the people running the booths there are still fresh. It's Thursday. They are excited. They are there for business, to meet business people. They are looking on the networking applications and filling up their profiles, so to meet you and the business people there. So again, that the cost of lost opportunity is even way higher actually on business day, and it's a no-brainer for me, but I'm a little bit biased, to be honest. Like if I would be in the fiat company trying to persuade my boss to become a Bitcoiner, I will definitely bring him to business day. It will even mean that probably company will pay my tickets, which would be great then. And hopefully it's gonna turn my company into at least a little bit Bitcoin one, which is, I believe, great achievement for any fiat job working person in the space. And
sure.
what else do we have in the sleeves? There's a lot actually. We are moving our check stage from the real end of the venue to the right beginning of it, where there is much more space around. So we're gonna make that chill zone even bigger. We're gonna have few additional beer points there. And when the program ends at the check stage at 6 p.m., we're gonna put the music louder there. For example, on Friday, there's gonna be fun quiz run by Maxi Lebrand from Wasabi Wallet.
Amazing.
And he gonna be replaced by DJ Rutsol after 1 hour. So there's gonna be wonderful Rutsol party again, not only for German plebs. I really recommend it. It's a lot of fun every single time. And on Saturday there's gonna be like a huge party. Last year we closed at 3 p.m. if I'm not mistaken. A.m. Sorry, at 3 a.m. This year we booked the venue till 5 a.m. because I was really sorry to kick all the people out, and because they were having fun with the
You
Bitcoiners
don't want
next
to
to
rock them.
the
Sorry, guys. Party's
sorry
over.
guys, Bitcoin's over for today. See ya. So I was quite sad actually. We won't need to be that sad this year. So this is it, and a few little another spices are for the geeks and for the business owners actually. For the geeks, there's definitely a DevHack Day happening on Wednesday, 18th of June. So if you are like into open source, Bitcoin development on first or second layer, or if you like eCash and are exploring the possibilities of eCash, if you are a fan of Nostr, there's definitely a lot to learn on DevHack Day. And it's a dedicated site event happening in nearby hotel, whole day long, like open conference with Socratic seminars, smaller or bigger workshops, discussions, panel discussions, and like real Bitcoin, greatest Bitcoin minds getting together, learning, sharing, and building something new. Something great always like borns there. So I'm pretty excited. So that's Wednesday. That makes BTC Prague already 4 days long, actually. If you are a business owner, or if you think of Bitcoin from the treasury perspective or hardcore business perspective, actually deep business perspective, we have Bitcoin Corporate Day. So that's like DevHack Days for devs. So we have Bitcoin Corporate Day for the corporates, mid and high class managers, C-level managers from all European companies coming together. It's invite only, 210 people only, happening on Friday from morning till afternoon. Basically, there's like something else to do besides being on a pleb conference at Friday in the main venue. And it has a dedicated landing page, bitcoincorporateday.com. And that's like, we're gonna go really deep there again. So if this is something interesting for business focus guys, there's a button to sign up, and we're gonna let you know on more details. And on Sunday, there's BTC Payday happening. So that makes BTC Prague 5 days long already. Details to be announced. And there are tons of other side events happening during the days. So it's probably gonna be like the full BTC Prague day. BTC runners, Bitcoin Germany, Bitcoin Hispania, Bitcoin Czech, other more party or more formal things happening during the week. So there's like really a lot.
Amazing. I mean, there's been a lot of things to digest there, but honestly, no matter what place you're coming from, there's definitely something for you at BTC Prague. I mean, there's only so much we can tell you to come and do it, but as I said, the decision's on you. You're the one who steers your own ship. Hopefully, it will be towards Prague. But yeah, if you want to put it to the test and see if it's really that exciting, go ahead and test this out. Get your tickets, and I'm sure you won't regret it because it's one of a kind experience. I'm also a little bit biased, being now involved second years with you guys, but honestly, to me, the reason I'm so bullish about it is it's my favorite of all time conferences, not just in Europe, but anywhere that I've been around the world. So I'm really happy to be a part. And as I mentioned in the intro, this one I'll actually also be speaking, which will be my first conference. So to me, it's even more special than 2025. So yeah, definitely, guys, there's not much more we can tell you to do. Now it's on you. But I guess to kind of nicely summarize what we discussed, Martin, is maybe you could give some kind of closing tips for first timers. How can they get the most out of the experience this year?
Mhm. Yeah, good question. And I keep my fingers crossed for you, Gigi, to not to be stressed of your speech at BTC Prague. You're definitely gonna do well. I'm curious to see it.
It will
So
be
I keep my
natural.
fingers crossed. I'm sorry. Sorry.
It will be natural to me. Like I have no butterflies speaking. I've done different speeches at smaller conferences and of course with a podcast. So I'm more excited than nervous. So I'm really looking forward
I'm
to it.
glad to hear that. There's no need to be nervous. It's gonna be okay. And how to start? Like, first of all, I will book a flight tickets. Prague is super accessible, so it might not be a big deal. I will start with this. Uh, I will plan the trip to stay in Prague at least for 1 or 1.5 weeks to come enough in advance to stay like for a few more days to be able to relax. Like all those days are intense. It takes a lot of energy, mostly the
Mental.
brainish one, because there's a lot of information and beer to absorb. And Prague is wonderful. June is the month that promises the highest probability of having wonderful, not that hot weather. So it's really the place to be. And I would recommend to anyone to really go to the old town to see all those medieval buildings that weren't really bombed out during the World War II. So they are still there. It's really enjoyable to walk the Prague Castle, to have a good steak, to maybe rent a car and drive to the real north of Czech Republic, where there are wonderful natural history monuments, or there are a lot of cultural history hidden in the Prague. So like really don't rush, take your time, spend few more days in advance or after. There are like just go to btcmap.org, open Prague, and you're gonna see like more than actually 200 places where there is possible to use Bitcoin as a payment method, which makes it like even enjoyable. So hey, just go and stress test the network in Prague. That's gonna be great. And there are a lot of Bitcoiners. The Bitcoin community in Prague is wonderful. So feel free to use it, as there are gonna be many different side events, and it's basically the best place to be in June, I would say, if you are a Bitcoiner.
Amazing. Well, there you go, guys. The only thing I would add to Martin is download the BTC Prague app and start seeing who you're going to meet with and making up your plan. And of course, keeping an eye out on the agenda list, which is constantly being updated, so you kind of can pinpoint which talks you're going to go to. But as I said earlier, from my own experiences, in most cases, you're going to miss all of them anyways, because you're going to be integrating with other Bitcoiners and enjoying some time at the booth area outside, soaking in the sun, soaking in the beautiful Prague beers. But yeah, I think we covered everything. Anything else, Martin, that you wanted to share with our listeners, or anything else that we might have missed?
No, just keep your fingers crossed. There's still a lot of work to be done from our side. We're gonna do our best again, and for us, the biggest like proof of being on the right track, and for like making our work a reasonable one in our perspective, is when we see people coming, having fun, and saying hi and enjoying. So I cannot wait to meet you all guys again.
Amazing. Well, Martin, thank you so much again for everything that you and your brother and the whole BTC Prague team does. Thank you for taking the time out of your super busy schedule. I know there's a lot of things as time is crunching up, but I'm sure you guys will pull it through and it will be yet another incredible event. I'm super looking forward to seeing you and everyone else, including all the listeners to this show. Do get your tickets. As I mentioned in the beginning, you can use BTC Story for a 10% discount. And definitely, this is an event you don't want to miss. Best of luck with the last few things, Martin. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you in a few weeks' time.
Thank you, Gigi. I cannot wait. Good luck with the talk preparation, and let's have a beer in Prague. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you. See you soon.